That's good tea. Okay. Hello ladies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Aisha. I'm a certified trauma-informed coach and manifestation guide. And I thought that we would have a nice little cozy video to welcome in the autumn season if you're here in the, is it the Northern Hemisphere? I think the Northern Hemisphere, who is experiencing the beginnings of fall. It's been raining for over an hour in the PNW, so I'm over here cozy, getting some work done little by little, really slowing down into the peace, into the ease. And since we are coming up on my 1-year channel anniversary, I have been going over all of my old videos and looking at my progress and growth, and one of the main things that's been different for me is my inner experience. And I noticed this most predominantly in specific person relationships. So a large reason my channel has reached the success it's reached in the past year is because of a video titled How I Got My Specific Person in 3 Days. And I thought, what better way to celebrate my progress than to revisit the topic of my most successful video. So that's what we're gonna get into today. Although that video was much more upbeat and excited, this one's gonna be really honest and really truthful, and it may not be what you want to hear. It may not be what you're ready to hear. However, my promise to you as your coach, and as your manifestation guide is I'm always going to tell you the harsh truths. I'm always going to tell you what you need to hear, because I actually genuinely want you to have your manifestation. If you're single right now, I want you to be in your relationship if that's what you desire. If you are, talking to, dating, courting your specific person, I want you to have the marriage. If you are in that marriage already and you want to improve it, I want that for you too. And so I'm always going to give you the real necessary reality check and the truth bombs that you need to hear to make that happen. So again, that video is very clickbaity and I recognize that. However, it really did manifest in 3 days. And my last video on this channel was the detachment video. So I thought, what better way to build off that lesson than to talk about how I specifically detached and what that meant for me, and that's how I got my specific person who is now my husband. So I had been in this frantic state, just like many of you. I felt really desperate, I felt really frustrated, I was in a lot of heartache and heartbreak. I had gone through divorce in my first marriage and was really discovering who I am. I lost myself in that marriage. I gave up my identity in so many ways, and it led me to becoming a version of myself that I'm truly not proud of. I was not healthy, I was not happy, I was not really connected to my higher power. I was not practicing very many good habits in terms of showing up in the world as my best self and being able to be the best wife and be the best parent and be the best supporter of my family. And that period of my life was so informative for me. It was so transformational that it broke everything down that couldn't stay and paved the way for what was to come, which is now. Obviously, I'm a very different version. I consider myself a successful version of myself, regardless of what the circumstances say. I feel in my heart this peace, this calm, this appreciation for life that I just didn't have before. And it's allowed me to manifest easier, and it's allowed me to own my experience here and enjoy every moment, even the ups and downs. I take pride in how I'm responding to life moment to moment. And so what I want to make this lesson about is you. The secret to manifesting your specific person is you. The secret to having a happy marriage is you. The secret to having a good life is you. So, excuse me. I sip my tea here while it's still warm. So the reason I say it manifested in 3 days, I hit this low moment where I was frustrated. I'm like, I'm trying so hard, of course. I'm trying to upgrade my life. I'm trying to reach these goals. And I was really stuck in the story of it's not here yet, but it's coming. It's not here yet, but it's coming. And that sounds very optimistic. It sounds very positive, but ultimately that story itself is what kept me stuck. And that night when I had prayed, I wasn't only praying for a specific person. I wasn't only praying for, you know, success in my career. I wasn't only praying for the things I was praying for. Truly, I was like, I need everything to be fixed. I need all of my problems to go away right here, right now. And I fell apart, and I allowed myself to fall apart. I allowed all of my strength to leave my body and to be in a moment of weakness where I felt so low and sad, and I just let myself be there. And the reason that that's really important is so often the reason we're creating struggle in our life is because there's internal struggle, and we're struggling internally because we are trying to force the circumstances to come about. We're trying to force things to happen faster, go faster, go faster. We're looking for that instant gratification. We're putting in the work and we're expecting, like, our hand is out, like, I did the work, give me my reward, give it to me. I'm doing the work, I did it, give it to me. And that does not work. That's not how manifestation works. It's certainly not how prayer works. And so that moment in time for me, it broke me out of all of the facade, all of the false beliefs that I had, all of the societal programming I had. It broke me out of that. And I said, okay, I don't care when the job comes. I don't care when I reach my health goals. I don't care when my specific person comes. I don't care anymore. I don't care. I can't live like this anymore. I can't feel this upset. I can't be in depression or anxiety. I can't do it anymore. I'm done. And it's not that I had been in misery. I was very happy in that chapter of my life. But it's like I was swimming with a cinder block strapped to my ankle. So I was swimming and I was going and I was efforting and I was making this progress, and I felt really proud of myself and I felt very good about myself in that chapter. And yet there was this feeling of I'm still being dragged down by something. And the prayer that I made that night cut that weight for me. And the prayer was just, I need you. I need you, God. I need you to show up for me. I need you. If there's ever a time in my life, consciousness, universe, source energy, God, whoever you are, if there's ever a time in my life that I will ask you to prove to me that you are here, that you are real, that you exist, that I'm not just me having this experience here as a one human, show me. Show me that everything that I'm learning about is true. Because I had just discovered like manifestation maybe 2 years prior to that moment. And I was so confused because so many teachers were teaching me so many different things, and so much of it was incorrect and wrong for me. And in that moment, I cut ties with it all. And I said, I'm a blank slate. I'm here. Just show me something. You know, tell me I'm not crazy for being hopeful and optimistic in this moment. And the next morning when I woke up, I went about my day. Like I never changed, like nothing ever happened. I woke up with gratitude. I smiled at the sunshine. I enjoyed my breakfast. I went to work. I worked out. I took a nice hot shower and washed the stress of the day off. And I just said, okay, this is my life right now. This is where I'm at, and I accept that, and I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna be happy no matter what. And in fact, the night that I prayed, I had just made a promise to myself. I'm gonna be single for 3 years, okay? So the next 3 years of my life, I'm just going to invest in myself. I'm gonna grow my business, and I'm going to take care of my health, and I'm going to work on my finances, and I'm going to be happy, and I'm going to put relationships on the back burner. And this is also why we say, like, God's plan is so masterful, it is so perfect, it is exactly what you need. And that's why we don't stress about the how, because 3 days after making that, declaring that statement to myself, I met my specific person. And the way that I met him, I was just there at the park taking care of myself. I was having a day that was a little bit pressing, it was a little stressful, it was a little rough, things weren't going as I had expected, but I said, things don't have to go how I expect, I just have to take care of me. I have to work on this. So I took myself to the park, and I started to feel better, and I was looking around, these people are happy, they're, out on the river, and everything is beautiful, and my life is beautiful, and I can have this happy moment and be cheerful and wonderful. And of course, as I was leaving the park, it magically happened. Like, my husband and I met, we had a conversation, it was really spiritual, I felt connected, he felt connected, and the rest is history. And the reason is because I was so detached from wanting a specific person. I wasn't clinging to it, I wasn't desperate for it. I said, I don't care. I don't care, God. I don't care. I don't care if I am single for the rest of my life. I am going to be happy with me, with my life. I'm going to be proud of myself. I'm going to enjoy my experience here, and nothing and no one is going to stop me from that. And of course, after I met my specific person, some of my old patterns definitely came up. And, since meeting my husband, I have done so much work to heal relationship wounds, not just relationship wounds that I picked up from my previous marriage, or relationship wounds that I picked up from, relationships when I was younger, or friendships even, or, not even that, but just my relationship with my parents and that dynamic. But I've healed so much of that because I've been with him, because he's been pushing those buttons. He's showing me the mirror that shows me myself. It shows me everything I've had to work on. And this is such a perfect example of manifestation isn't really instant. It is, but it isn't. And what I mean by that is, the instant you think of it, it is a manifestation. If you think of something, the thought itself is a manifestation. The realization that something exists is a manifestation. Now, when I say it manifested in 3 days, I want to be careful. I want to be careful to let you know it can manifest in 3 days, and it might not manifest in 3 days, and it's all up to how attached you are to the desire, and it's all up to how desperate you are to have that, and it's all up to your level of comfort, your beliefs, your assumptions. I can't guarantee that you will get your manifestation in 3 days for anything, whether that's specific person, money, health. I can't, and nobody else can guarantee that, because manifestation is about your own self-awareness. Again, I said this is all about you. Manifestation is about you. This is your journey. This is your struggle. These are your limiting beliefs. These are your assumptions. Even you watching this video here, your subconscious and conscious decisions and where your awareness is at led you to this video, because something I'm saying here is going to open a door for you. It's going to take you to that next level. It's going to give you an opportunity to elevate. So now the harshest truth of them all is you might never get married. You might never give yourself permission to let go. You might never heal to the point where you feel like you can have a relationship. You might never feel worthy of a relationship. You might stay there for the rest of your life. And I know that that is the worst thing to hear if you're really looking for an answer on how to get your manifestation and how to be married. But the truth is, you already know how. If you're watching this type of content, you already know how, you're just not doing it. I know that this is not the very first video you've ever watched about manifestation, and if it is somehow you've been exposed to manifestation in other ways your whole life, you just don't even realize it yet. Just because we call it manifestation, just because we call it law of assumption, just because we put any label on it, it doesn't change the fact that you've been doing this since you came to Earth, and honestly probably before you came to Earth, because manifestation is just your awareness being aware of something. And your awareness is God. It's the God part of you. It's the piece of you that is tapped into the vast energy of the world and the universe. And this is how consciousness can put someone like me and someone like my husband in the same geographical location. It's the same way that consciousness can put my mind in a certain space and his mind in a certain space while we're in the same geographical location. It's how the timing was so exactly right that if I had left 30 seconds before, or he had left 30 seconds after, or vice versa, that 1 minute interval could have meant we never would have met. We never would have ran into each other. And it's only consciousness, it's only the divine consciousness that is God, or source, or universe, whatever you want to call it, but the divine consciousness that we all have that can orchestrate everything in the world to be this way. And that's why we don't have to worry about how the manifestation is unfolding. We have to trust that it is unfolding. We don't get to decide how God answers our prayers, but we have to have faith that our prayers have already been answered the minute we ask them, the minute we dictate our prayer. And I want to also acknowledge that just because it manifested for me in 3 days, I had been working on myself since I was 14. So really, it took 12 years. It took 12 years and 3 days. It took 12 years of learning that I had depression and anxiety, understanding what that was, seeking therapy and getting the help and support I needed. My parents had no idea how much I was suffering. And in the beginning, they didn't take me seriously when I did express that I was depressed and I was harming myself in different ways. They didn't take it seriously. And then I got a formal diagnosis. I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, this girl needs help, that they finally took it seriously. It wasn't until I was so badly aching in my outer world that I finally got the validation and help that I sought. And that's what started my journey. And over the years, I changed my diet, and that improved my physical health, and that led to me having a better mental health. In my late teens and early 20s, I got really into spirituality, and I was a crystal girly because I didn't know back then. I didn't understand that it's not the crystals that give it power. It's you, it's God that's giving it power in your awareness and your consciousness. It's just a pretty rock. And don't get me wrong, I still love pretty rocks. But I recognize the magic is not coming from the rock itself. It's not the material. It's the consciousness that's in the material, which is in everything. It's in all of us. And, little by little, I opened up. Little by little, I was on this journey of self-discovery, discovering myself, discovering things about the world, opening myself up to so many different paths of spirituality, learning about the different religions and cultures, all the different ways to connect with God, all the different ways to see God in ourselves, to see God in other people. And I don't know if you can tell, this is a very deep emotional topic for me, because I think it's so beautiful. You watching this, you are a piece of God watching this. You are consciousness communicating with itself. In order for consciousness to exist, it has to first acknowledge itself as consciousness. And once consciousness, or God, noticed itself existing, it didn't want to exist alone, because why would anything who is aware of itself want to exist alone? And that's such a beautiful thing. It's really magical to think that we're all here sharing this experience on the planet. We're all God living through us, and we're not separate. We are oneness that has put itself in all these different pieces so that it can experience itself on a deeper level. And manifesting your specific person is very much the same way. It's about breaking down all the different parts of you and learning to appreciate every single individual part. No matter what shape it is, no matter what condition it's in, no matter how big or small that part of you is, when you learn to appreciate it, when you learn to love that part of yourself, when you learn to take all the parts of you then and give them a big ol' hug and say, I see the God in you, I see the purpose in you, I know that you're here to help me, I forgive you for the times that you hurt me, and I'm going to carry you with me with pride and confidence, then you can manifest anything that you desire. Being whole within yourself is how you manifest what you desire, because your desires are icing on the cake. You're already whole. You're already a beautiful experience. You are already happiness and success and wisdom and beauty. You are already every positive experience, every positive emotion. You already are those things. You don't have them, because if you have them, they can be taken away. And if they can be taken away, then you can lose them forever. But that's not possible because you are awareness. And as long as you can think of happiness, you can conceptualize happiness, you can conceptualize fulfillment and contentment, you can give that to yourself. So don't give the power to your specific person. Don't give the power to your manifestation. Don't give your power away to your desire, because it's your desire. If you want to experience it, you can. You have to know that experiencing it is not going to change you. It's not going to make you better. It's not going to make it easier to be happy. And my final lesson in this video is, if you cannot be happy with yourself, you will never be happy in relationship. And I don't mean you can't pretend to be happy with yourself or pretend to be happy in a relationship. No. I mean, the version of you are right now, if your specific person came today and said, let's get married and start a life together, you would be the same version of you. And that happiness, it might last a little while. You go through the honeymoon phase, as they call it, which is another assumption. And then it wears off. And it's not that it wears off, it's that you go back to being who you've always been. You go back to being just as unhappy and unfulfilled as you've always been. Because you think your SP is the answer and they're going to fix everything. They're going to be the cure for your loneliness. They're going to be the cure for your unhappiness. They're going to be the cure to all those bad feelings. But they're not. They can't be. They are a mirror for you. And this is one thing I wish I knew sooner. However, I'm so glad I know it now. When I got with my now husband, the happiness was there, the joy was there, and also all the things that I had not yet healed were still there too. And he's just a mirror. He's been holding up a mirror for me, and so when I face him, I'm facing myself. And some of the things in the mirror that I've seen in the last year were not pretty. Some of the things I saw in the mirror of myself reflecting to me were painful, were very dark, were very sad and tragic, because those were wounds from my childhood I wasn't even yet aware of. And I had done this work for 12 years before meeting him, so remember, it takes however long it takes for you to acknowledge what's there and not let it take you over, not let it be the reason you're unhappy, and be more powerful than those experiences and those feelings and those beliefs. So as he's mirroring me, as he shows me who I really am, I thank him. And if how he has to show me how I'm being hurts me, I forgive him. Because I recognize everyone is you pushed out. There's no one to change but self. So if I don't like what I see in the mirror, if you don't like what you see in the mirror, you have to change you. And getting your specific person is just like shining a brighter light on a bigger mirror for you to see all the details about yourself that you've been running away from, or ignoring, or suppressing. All the details you have yet to find out about yourself. And that can be scary, and it can be painful, and it can turn you off from ever trying to love. However, the best form of love is loving yourself and recognizing the God in you and allowing other people to show you the God in them, because they are just God loving you. When my husband loves me, it's God loving me through him. He's a channel for me. When my husband gives to me, when I receive goodness from anybody in the world, it's God loving me. It's God showing up for me. It's consciousness showing me, I hear you, I see you, I'm with you, I'm here for you. And that's the deeper truth in manifestation. And that's the deeper key to making all of your desires come true, is knowing that there's no separation. God put his energy into you to experience himself as you, to love that part of himself. You're a piece of this massive puzzle, a valuable piece, an important piece, a lovable piece. And the sooner you recognize that within yourself and accept when other people are reflecting your value back to you, the sooner your specific person will come. And you'll realize it's just God loving you in a different package. I guarantee that if you absorb the lessons that I've shared with you today, if you really listen and this resonates with you, that you will have your specific person. And even better than having the marriage that you desire is having the love for yourself that you deserve, having the love for yourself that you've always wanted, seeing the value in you that you have been chasing and looking for and trying to create, but it's already there. You just have to become aware of it. And I intend that this video allows you to be aware of that. Thank you to everyone who's watched and supported me. Thank you to everyone who reflects positivity onto me. Thank you for the God in you loving the God in me. And let's all continue to support and show up for one another in a positive way to help bring more light to this world, to help make this experience more enjoyable for everyone. And remember, by being your best self and loving yourself exactly as you are, you inspire others to do the same. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you.